Hi, I'm Angie. Welcome to RV 360 by National Indoor RV Centers, where we have all the details on the latest coaches. NIRVC is a trusted resource with RV lifestyle specialists who are here to help you find your dream coach. NIRVC also supports you well after the sale with storage, service, and detailing. So basically, we do it all. Hi, I'm Angie with National Indoor RV Centers, and today I am so excited because this is my very first Renegade video. So we have the full line Renegade available at National Indoor RV Centers now, so I can't wait to sell this product. We've been trying to get it for years. The day is finally here. We're going to have the full lineup at our Music City Motorhome Expo, which just starts in a couple days, so just couldn't be more excited. Now, before I go into all the details about this gorgeous coach, we're going to be going over the Verona LE today. This is the 40 LBH floor plan. There's a few others for you to choose from, but again, we'll get into those details. This is going to be my full-length detailed video. So for those of you that are new here, I do like to do a really thorough walkthrough because I think when you're spending this amount of money, you want to know all the details. I am going to break it up into chapters so that if there's something that you want to see more of, or if you want to skip ahead or go back to it, you can easily do that. Just make sure you come back, watch the whole video so that you don't miss anything and you get all the details. Also, what I love to do more than these videos is sell these beautiful coaches. So make sure you give us a call at National Indoor RV Centers. We want to have customers for life. We want to make the process really smooth and easy. You can buy what we have in stock, or you can custom order your own coach. We're happy to do either way. We just want happy customers. Really want you to know that you vetted your decision and you bought the right coach for you. So let us help you with that. Our delivery, we're going to do a thorough walkthrough of the coach. We hope that you'll stay a couple nights with us so that you can get comfortable, push all the buttons, and feel like you know how to work all the things on this rig. A lot of those things that I'm going to show you. So it's a great process. We do financing, we take in trades, we do consignments, we do it all. And like I said, we want to have customers for life. So we're here for the lifetime of your ownership, from the research, buying, and then we're going to be here to service you. Storage, if you need that need, paint and body, you name it, we do it. We do it all at National Indoor RV Centers. Also, I hate to hear, well, you weren't in the state that I live in. Well, guess what? We've solved that problem too, because we have a fly to buy program. So we will fly you in to take delivery. And another thing, we have no hidden fees. So you're gonna see what you're gonna pay. We're gonna line it all out. No surprises at delivery either, which is a huge bonus. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, please hit the like and subscribe, hit that little bell so that you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And then I'd love to hear from you. Like I said, this is my first Renegade video, so let me know if there's something I missed or if you've something you want to see more of. My videos will only get better as you help me with your comments. So thanks so much for watching. Let's go ahead and get started. So let's start at the very top. We have our one piece of fiberglass cab. We've got our marker lights on the top there. And then we come down to our nice big windshield. Now, the windshield's important to me because that's how you're going to see this beautiful country. You're going to sit up high in this truck. You're going to have great visibility with your side mirrors, your cameras. A lot is built into this chassis so that it's easy to drive and safe to drive. We've got our windshield wipers, and we've got our front cap here. We can unhook that and easily pull that front cap back for servicing. I'll show you that in a second. So right there in the top middle of the front windshield, you've got the camera for your collision mitigation, adaptive cruise control, a lot of those safety features that are built into this chassis that I'll talk more about as we go around. To make this coach look even cooler than it already is, we upgraded to the Caliber 9 black finish grill package, so it just looks really cool and edgy. I love that. And then we've got the light package, so you're going to be able to see great at night. And then you're going to see there's going to be more of those sensors for your adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation behind that panel as well. And in here you can see we have the turn signal in that front big headlight, so oncoming traffic can easily see what you're doing. The Verona LE sits on the Freightliner M2-106 Plus medium-duty chassis. It has the Cummins L9 engine, which gives you 360 horsepower, 1150 pound-foot of torque. So let's take a peek at that beautiful engine compartment, and it's super easy. You're just going to release here on both sides, and you can literally pull that forward with one hand. So inside we have our fuse relay box, and then tucked back in here we have our transmission dipstick, our oil dipstick, and fill is right on top of the engine. Then we have our power steering fluid and our fuel filter water separator, our air inlet manifold for the engine, and our coolant for the engine. And then below we've got our windshield wiper fluid and our air dryer. And in front here we've got our radiator cooling package. You'll see that the front cap is protected by diamond shield. So one of the things I recommend whenever you get to the campground, first thing you want to do, get out that hose, rinse off your front cap and also your front windshield, just so those pesky bugs aren't doing any damage to your front end. So look at the beautiful shadow line exterior. You have 4 painted graphic options that you can choose from, and then you have 4 full paint, all one color options that you can choose from. So to each their own. I think this looks fabulous, but I also love the solid color coaches as well. Now, one of the things I highly recommend, and if you want that mirror-like reflection when you look into your coach, you want to get ceramic coating with National Indoor RV Centers. We partnered recently with Bob Moses Ceramic Coating, who does his best ceramic coating in the industry. They use Sencha, which is an amazing product out of Japan. It has an 8-year warranty. It's going to protect your coach. It's going to make it, give it that mirror-like appearance. It's absolutely gorgeous. And if you take this through muddy situations or whatever, literally that mud and the rain just rolls off. You can also add the wheels and windshield. So again, I don't recommend it, but you almost don't even need to use your windshield wipers because it just literally rolls off the window so quickly. Super cool. Just go watch my video on ceramic coat with National Indoor RV Centers. The Verona LE sits on the Michelin XZE tire. This is a commercial grade tire that's made especially for medium duty and heavy duty trucks. So you're going to have that nice ride and drive with these tires. Now, at National Indoor RV Centers, we are passionate about tire safety. So much so that our CEO, Brett Davis, and business partner, Rob Craig, out of Australia, who has been in the armament industry for his whole career, developed a product specifically for motorhomes and the weight of motorhomes. It's a run flat device, so it's going to give you peace of mind. It's going to keep you safe. It's going to keep your family safe as you're traveling along these wonderful roads. You just never know. There's a lot of weight on these tires. You never know what you may encounter on the road, and we want you to be safe RVing for a long time. And you will definitely want to look up my video on Retroband. It sells itself. I'll say no more. Then we have our marker light and side camera here. This is going to be great when you hit that right turn signal. You're going to be able to see down the full side of the passenger side of the coach. You have one for the driver's side as well. It's really nice as you're changing lanes, entering and exiting freeway to have that view from your side view camera. Here are the exterior mirrors. I always rely heavily on my mirrors. Your top one is internally controlled and heated. Your bottom one, you do have to adjust manually. And then we've got our fiberglass and molded steps, nice and sturdy. And right here at the step, you have your fuel fill for the passenger side of the coach. You have 2 50-gallon fuel tanks. So you'll fill one from this side, one from the other. I believe there is some crossover there, but it's easier to fill them, pull them to a truck stop and fill them from both sides. So why Renegade? One of the big reasons, because Renegade is one of those products that everyone knows. It's got a great reputation. So as we get to the house here, they use steel and aluminum throughout the house. You have welded tubular steel framing in critical areas of the coach, and then you have the aluminum framing in the walls and roof. So their house is more rigid than many of the competitors, and they're using lighter construction. So across the top of the coach, you're going to see that we've got the Girard awnings, and right below that, we've got the high marker lights. So again, that's just going to help for visibility as you're traveling at night. Then we have the frameless dual paned windows throughout. So I went ahead and extended the awnings. I'm going to be real quick here because we do have some wind gusts. You do have a shake sensor. I always believe that that's about a couple seconds too late. So you've got your LED lighting. Great. Look how nice and big that awning is. Now I'm going to go and retract it before we have any problems. Check out the storage here. So in our first compartment, we have our 450 diesel Aqua-Hot. This is great. This is going to be for your on-demand hot water and your furnace. We've got the coolant here in the front and our oil filter in the back, and you've got a display panel here so you can scroll through diagnostics, faults, test it, all of that right in here. So a little disclaimer here. This coach is getting ready to go to the Music City Motorhome Expo. So I had it all ready to video today, opened up the compartments to check everything out, and this came straight from Renegade. They loaded it up with all their show materials, so now you get to see it fully loaded. So typically I like to show it empty, but I thought maybe I could start to take stuff out, but no way. There's probably 200 pounds of mats in here. So you'll see the nice big compartment though that you get on the Verona LE. We have the lit compartment, and then look at how much you can put in there and the weight of what you can put in there. No problem, because this is also a undivided compartment here. So when I open up this compartment, when you've got those longer items like this big mat here, this is perfect for my demo. You can use that extra space. So that's really nice. Loaded, vented, and then you've got the two 110 outlets. Just so you can see how big this storage compartment is, I went ahead and got my tape measure right here. So the depth of it, 28 inches deep. And then the length of it, since it goes all the way across, is about 104 inches. Maybe 100, 100 here where you've got the vent. So huge compartment, so you can get a lot of all your fun toys in there if you're not towing them behind you. Midship, we have the LED passenger side security light. Right next to that, we have the vent for our convection microwave. Then we've got our big kitchen window here. And then we have our entertainment system. Here we have our 43-inch Samsung TV, 4K smart TV, and it has the JBL soundbar. Also, to direct it away from that sun, the glare of the sun, you can swivel it out and put it in the perfect position. And then right inside here, you've got two USB charging ports. So here we are to our entrance door. So that's one of the selling points for the Super C. A lot of people like having that mid entrance into the coach. You've got a nice big window here. You have the porch light. You have the electronic steps that come out when you open the door automatically, and then you want to turn those off once you're at your campsite so they don't go in and out every time you open the door. Then we have our lit handlebar here, and we've got our keyless entry. So that's really nice. You can set your own custom code. Great if you're away from the coach and you need to have a service technician come out, or if the grandkids are coming, or if you've got friends that are traveling with you that need to get into your coach, you can easily give them that code. So you'll see we've got the two windows here. It's easy to tell from outside that this is the bunkhouse. That's what the LBH stands for. And then we have our first docking light for the passenger side of the coach. Then in our next compartment, we've got the optional ottoman. We have not put that inside, obviously, but above that, I've got my 12-volt receptacle and DC 2-pin. And those two adapters are prepped for an exterior freezer if you want to take along your Bluebell ice cream. And behind that, we've got the GFCI resettable breaker for the two 110 outlets. It's lit, and they automatically come on if you've got them on at the panel. And then we've got the vent here. Now this is a 3/4, I wouldn't call it a pass-through because it's only about 3/4 away across, but let me just give you that length. It's about 5 feet deep. And then again, this compartment, this part of it is 2 feet, 24 inches. The 3/4 pathway here is about 8 inches. All right, inside this last compartment, we have a nice big compartment again. We've got extra tiles. That's always nice to have some extra tiles in case you have any kind of cracking. You've got tiles from the same batch. Then we have our hoses for our central vac and our filter for our central vac. And what's nice is you can hook that up out here, vacuum out the car, your tow vehicle if you need to. Then we have the ball hitch. So we have the 2-inch and the two 5/16 inch receiver or ball hitch. And then we have the air hose here that we can hook up to the quick connect to fill up tires or your inflatable toys. And then we have the relay for the lights here in the back of the coach. As I come around the back of the coach, we've got that beautiful graphics. Up top, we've got our high marker lights. Then we have our perimeter lights so that we can easily see when we're back here in the evening. And then we've got our rear view camera, high brake lights, more of our brake lights here. And then we've got our 2.5-inch receiver, our hookups for an additional camera, our 7-way for our tow vehicle. And again, we have a 20,000-pound hitch, 1150 foot-pound of torque, and back behind here, we've got the awesome looking Renegade mud flap. As I come around the driver's side, we've got our first marker lights. And then we have a nice big compartment here. So we have our 50 amp shore power cord that's on a power reel, and we can just thread that through here. When we're not using it, we can just put that right in there so we can secure no rodents get into this compartment. And there's the power retract, 2 110 outlets. We also have the Surge Guard RV power protection transfer switch. That's super important. That's going to protect you one time. I always recommend that you have a second Surge Guard protector, either one on the end of your 50 amp shore power cord, or at National Indoor RV Centers, we can install one right into this compartment. That one's just a little bit safer because no one can steal it. But with all the electronics built into this coach, you just want to have extra protection against really the park electricity, because it can be a little faulty at times. And then Renegade also gives you the bone to a 30 amp. Next up is our Awning generator, 8,000 watt Awning generator. Here's the exhaust for that generator. We also have a little storage spot for our Stinky Slinky here. And on the generator itself, you can turn the generator on from here. You can see the hours of the generator, and then you've got the resettable breaker, the coolant fill, our first docking light for the driver's side of the coach. Then we've got our exhaust for Aqua-Hot exhaust and engine exhaust. And this is our nice wet bay. I love how we have the CNC cutout description on all the buttons here, because that will never fade. So we've got the water filter for the coach. Then we have the sea level 2 tank monitor system, so you can check batteries, your fresh tank, gray and black. Just so you know, you have a 150 gallon fresh tank and 75 gray, 75 black. Your black tank wash, your spray away, city water level, and then you've got your hose reel, so you can retract your freshwater hose. So you can pull that out here and then just retract that back in. Again, you can thread that through here. You have your hot and cold point drains, and you have your low point drain, your cable input here, and your electric valves for your gray and your black tank. And then we have our external shower, and that's just gonna hook in here to our spray away spot. So we're just gonna hook that up there. Now we've got our shower, so if you wanna clean off the kiddos, your pets, your bikes, your feet, if you've been hiking, whatever, you can do that outside rather than taking that into the coach. So midship here, we have the vent for the dryer and our driver's side security perimeter light. Now we've got our gray and our black tanks behind this panel here. So inside this compartment, we have the waste pump, we have the hose here for basically what would be our macerator system for our black tank. And we've got our manual bars if needed, and our other manual T-bar. Next up, we have a nice big storage compartment. We have our inverter and our blue solar charge controller. Now we did option in the second inverter because we added the 2 extra batteries. And then here we have the servo, which is basically our display panel. It's going to give us a lot of information. It's also going to show us all this information inside on the panel, but we can see what our battery life is, our tank levels. We can see what kind of charge we're bringing into the coach, and our AC loads and DC loads. Next up are our lithium batteries. So standard on the Verona LE, you get the 270 amp hour lithium batteries. We've upgraded to the 4, so now we have 10,080 amp hours on our lithium batteries, and then we've got our chassis batteries. The quickest way to charge your lithium batteries is to either have it plugged into 50 amp service or run the generator. You also have your solar panels, and we added that extra solar panels. So comes standard with 3, we have 4 200 watt, so we have 800 watt of solar on the roof. Right here in the battery compartment, we have our quick connect air line, so we can connect that hose here to inflate the tires. Our second driver's side security perimeter light. Then we have our DEF tank, so our diesel exhaust fluid. Diesel exhaust fluid does have a shelf life of about a year, so you just want to be aware if you're carrying that with you to replace it. If you're going to the gas station and filling up at, to Buc-ee's, you're going to be fine. But just remember, shelf life of about a year. It doesn't like sunlight. It doesn't like heat. So bad or gummy DEF will throw some bad engine codes. Right next to that is the diesel fill for the driver's side of the coach. And then we have the engine block heater here at the top of the steps. All right, so fun showing you the outside. Now let's go check in all the great stuff on the inside. As I step into the Verona, first of all, great strong handlebar here so I can safely get in and out of the coach. And this, folks, it does not move at all. There's very few that I can say that they don't move at all. That is completely solid. So safely get in and out of the coach. And then I've got a control panel right as I walk in, so I can turn on my living room ceiling lights or my living room floor lights. Now, anytime you see that arrow, that means that you can dim that light. Then we've got our scene light. That's going to be those passenger side, driver side, and rear security lights that I talked about. They call them scene lights. And then our awning lights, our porch light, our master light on and off. So as I'm exiting the coach, I can just hit that button, everything's off, and then I can extend and retract my Girard awning from right here. All right, then we have our battery disconnect for our house batteries, our entry step override. So once you're at the campground, you don't want that step to keep going out. You're just going to hit that button off so that it will remain out. And then we have our e-start. E-start is when you come back and let's say you can't get your chassis batteries to start. So you want to tie your chassis batteries to your house batteries to give them enough power to then start, or vice versa. If your house batteries are dead, you're going to try to tie those together with your chassis batteries to give them enough power to start up. Then we have our fire extinguisher for the coach. Now for this 40-foot coach, I don't think one fire extinguisher is sufficient. So make sure you stay tuned to National Indoor RV Center's YouTube channel. We'll soon be launching a brand new fire suppression system that is off the charts great. So stay tuned for that. Then we have this nice big window on our front door. We've got the screen here and we can just shut that so that we have no bugs are going to get in. And I also love that it's super easy to black out. So you're just going to pull that down, blacked out. Right above that, we've got the little hooks here for keys, caps, you name it, whatever you need. Renegade gives you this great stairwell cover. Home is where you park it. I love it. And then you can just simply lift it up when you're done. And you've got a little place to store it right next here to the sofa. Then right above the door, some important things to talk about. We've got one 110 available outlet, and then right here is the control for your Girard awning. And for some reason, if your panel's not working or your firefly system isn't working, there are controls on the side of this unit that you can retract and extend that awning with. This is our over-the-air antenna, and then we have our Starlink system and our Wi-Fi Ranger, and another 110 available outlet. Welcome to the beautiful interior of the Verona LE 40 LBH. Now we've got the oak bluff interior paired with the Lakewood cabinets. You have 3 different other cabinet choices that you can choose from and a different interior package that you can choose from, but I think this looks lovely. It's nice and neutral, so you can add any color you'd like to it. Now at National Indoor RV Centers, we want you to get exactly what you want. I've been trying to point out things that are standard and things that are optional as we go ahead, but we did option this coach with the extra solar panel, the extra 2 lithium batteries, which gives you that, which then you option in a second inverter. And then the floor heat too, we optioned in the washer and dryer. So just give us a call at National Indoor RV Centers and we can help walk you through that and just customize your order so it's exactly like you want it. So the insulation, the build quality of the Renegade product is superior to most other Super Cs. We had a huge rainstorm in here a little while ago, and you you could barely hear it. I could see it outside the window, but basically it did not sound like I was in a tin roof in here. Tons of insulation in your ceiling. Even the ducted air has kind of its own little attic that it runs through, so super quiet. Then you've got the 2-inch vacuum bonded walls with the 5mm fiberglass, which is thicker than most fiberglasses that manufacturers use. So really nice strong wall structure, and then the flooring is the best. So you have 3.5 mineral wool insulation in the floor structure, plus the 3/4 inch 7-ply marine grade subfloor decking. Overall, it's insulated really nicely, and then with the steel and aluminum structure, it's a nice strong house. So here we have our great cab over bunk. It's nice and big, and we've got this spot here for the ladder. So you can just grab your ladder from the back, and it's so easy. It just threads right through here. Telescopes down, and then you can safely get up here. Makes it easier for me to see because it's pretty tall up there. You got that great window, which I absolutely love, and the controls for that window are right here on this panel. So you have your bunk shade extend and your bunk shade retract. So if it's a little warm because it's sunny, you can just shut that, or if the kids want to look at the stars at night, it can be open. We've got a great cubby here for storage, 2 110 outlets, USB and USB-C charging port. And then we've got the accent lights for that area, the living area, the living ceiling, and the bunk. And then we have the master front on and off lights and the panel lights. We can just push those so that those aren't keeping us awake at night. Then we have the 24-inch TV for the cab over bunk room. Weight limit for your ladder is 300 pounds. So you can still get a pretty good guy, pretty big guy up there. So now if we want a little bit more room as we get in and out of the cab, you can just push that in. The mattresses just sit on top of each other, and then you've got great access into the cab area. So there's lots of sleeping areas for your family and friends in this coach. Technically 2 up there, 2 small kids here, 2 here, so 2, 4, 6, 8 with the king size master bedroom, and then you've got the 2 bunk rooms. So really you can sleep 10 people in this coach. So if you want to take the whole cul-de-sac, you've got room for them. So let's go ahead. The dinette here is nice and comfortable. What I really like about it is that you don't have any middle leg here. So you got plenty of room here to get in and out. And I always like a dinette for, you know, sort of like a little lounge area as well. So that's super comfy. And then we have our big 50-inch 4K smart TV Samsung by Samsung, and our sound bar. And then we've got cup holders here. And just below that, we have 2 110 outlets, USB, USB-C, and same thing on the other side. Here by the booth, we have another panel for light controls. Then you have storage, so just push down and pull out. And right now in that storage compartment, I've got the extra cushion to make that bed, the booth, into a bed. So we'll pull those out. Now we're just gonna move the lever so that we can push the table straight down. Insert our extra cushions there. And there we've got a sleeping area for 2 extra little kiddos. Then directly across from that, we have our 3-seater sofa with the ultra leather. And it's very, very comfortable. Now let's go ahead and make this into a bed. But before that, we've got the little TV trays. So I do love those. So we got our little TV tray. You can sit here, watch a movie, have your dinner, work on your tablet. Really nice. And those just pop right out too. If they're in the way, you can just easily set them aside. And you've got your cup holder here. Now I'm going to take off the back cushions, and they really nicely Velcro into place so you're not constantly fiddling with those or moving them. Now you're going to reach down, and there's a strap right in the middle here. You are going to pull that up to release. And while I pulled this out, you can see that we have the 3 seat belts in this sofa. And then you lift from the bottom, and it's just that easy. I would go ahead and take the seat belts out of the equation. You can just push them in, but that's how easy it is to make that bed. You can go ahead and throw your cushions up top again if you want to give your guests a little headrest. While we've got it down in the bed position, just wanted to point out that we have the 2 110 outlets here. We have the 2 110 USB-C outlet on this side and 2 110 outlets on the other side. So behind our sofa, we have a nice big window, and the day shades are manual, so you're just going to push and pull, let those go up. And what's nice is that you've got windows that they flip open, but I could have those open during a rainstorm because no rain's going to come in. So I kind of like to be able to have that option. And then the night shades are powered and they're on the main panel. And then I've got a panel behind me here. So I've got my kitchen light, my sofa light, ceiling light, dinette light, floor light, and accent light, and then the panel lights. Again, all of those lights are dimmable because you've got those arrows. Just above the sofa, we've got storage. And I like that they don't have any divider in there, so you can fully use that space. And then let's step into our kitchen area. So a couple things I want to point out. We have the beautiful backsplash and the nicely encased kitchen window. So then we have our Samsung convection microwave oven. And it's nice and big. And it's air fried too because it says slim fry. So all the features right here is going to give you some little shortcuts. Don't worry, you're going to be able to bake a loaf of bread in here, cakes, cookies. I've done it all and it works great. The more airflow you have for that convection oven to work, the better. If you have any questions about that, a lot of the times if you're worried about the temperature, because you have to get used to every oven. I think whether if you're in a sticks and brick home or on a motorhome, you have to figure out what temperature your oven cooks at. So buy a little thermostat off of Amazon. You can put it in there, see when you get to 350 degrees, and then you kind of have an idea of when to put your food in and take it out. And then right below it, you've got the travel latch. And so you just push that over and lock that into place. That way that door definitely will not come open during travel. Then we have a nice storage compartment here above the sink, our brushed nickel residential faucet, and then we've got our sink covers. I love those. Nice big deep stainless steel sink, and then we've got the hose here so we can get to all those corners, and we've got the covers for our induction cooktop. This is an all-electric coach, no propane. So that induction cooktop, there's some bonuses. Any pan will work on this that a magnet will attach to. And the beauty of the induction cooktop is that it heats up really fast, boils water really fast. Then when you take the pan off and turn it off, it cools off really fast. So I love these covers because that way, if we're not using the cooktop, we have that extra prep area. Right behind the countertop here on our backsplash, we have 4 110 available outlets. All right, so now to our below storage. So we have our shelves, full extension drawers, and they are all finished off nicely, dovetail construction, and they are soft close. And then huge compartment here underneath our sink. We've got the subwoofer, but lots of storage, more storage with adjustable shelves. And then we have this cool little cabinet here to the side. So great place to put your spices, and then more adjustable shelves. Then we have 2 110 available outlets, USB, USB-C. I like this little extra kitchen counter spot. Maybe this is where you want to put your coffee bar, have it right here by the plug, or you can put it over here. Just gives you lots of options, and then more storage with adjustable shelf. Here is our central vac and our dustpan, so you can just sweep everything over to that, lift it up, and it all goes away. Check out all the storage. So more pantry space, nice, and adjustable shelves. Then we have our thermistor for the mid part of the coach here. So that's going to communicate with the thermostat to keep that temperature nice and comfortable, whether it's hot or cold where you set it. 2 110 outlets, 2 more drawers, and more storage. So tons of pantry space. And I'm not done. There's still more. Wow, lots of storage inside here. And you just push these and then pull them out. Again, they're nicely finished off. Everything's finished off really nice. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I do love this. You can store your sink covers and your stovetop covers in here. So if you're cooking and you're using the sink and the cooktop, those don't need to be in your way. You've got a perfect spot for them here. Then we have our huge Samsung refrigerator and freezer. We have the travel lock on here. So that just goes right there. Now you can't get in either. And then to take it off, that easy, nice and big. Our drawers. And our freezer with ice maker. And a huge drawer there. So here's our main control panel for the entire coach. Really cool. You can go to your settings button here, download the Eclipse app from the App Store, and then just follow the instructions here. So you can pair your phone to this device, and you can control a lot of the functions that you control at the panel here off of your phone. So here on the home screen, it's going to display the time. Then it's going to have your master switch, light switch on and off. It's going to give you the levels of your tank, fresh, gray, and black. You can turn on your water pump and your tankless heaters. Then it's going to give you the temperature of your cargo bays, the rear of the coach and the front of the coach. You can turn on your Aqua-Hot burner, your Aqua-Hot electric, and your Aqua-Hot preheat. Then we've got the level of our house and our chassis batteries, and you can start and stop the generator from here. And you can also go into your auto gen start. You can cancel that or enable it here. Then we go to our light button. We have a master switch for the interior, and then we have a front master. Then we have individual areas. So we have the front lighting, and you can see that you've got the living room floor, living room ceiling, kitchen overhead, dinette, sofa, bunk, accent, and front bunk. All of those have those arrows, so they are dimmable. Then you can go to your rear lighting, your exterior lighting, so your awning, your porch, and your storage. Your scene lighting, which is you've got the passenger side, the rear scene, and the driver's side. Then you have your RGB setup. So this is a optional feature, but kind of fun. So this is where you can power, pick the lights to display for your ground accent and then for your slide out accent. Here's your electrical screen. So you can see the power source, what's coming in on line 1 and line 2. And then you can see the levels of your house battery and your chassis batteries. You can see that we're drawing our power off the generator right now. You can go to your auto gen start settings here. So this is going to give you your triggers, your state of charge, and your HVAC load. It's going to give your generator hours. Here you can set your quiet time and your quiet time to start and stop. Then over here, you can adjust it. So if you'll say that you want it to start when it's at 30% and run for a minimum of 10 minutes, and then it will try to restart in 30 seconds. At the most, it will run for 2:30, or you can make that less or more. You can set that yourself, and you're going to stop when it's at 100%. It will retry to start 4 times. Again, you can change that. And then you've got your auto gen start defaults. Now you go to your climate control. So you've got the climate control for the rear, front, and rear floor and front floor. So these are your AC and heat controls here. So you can put it on cool, you use your heat pump, or once it drops below like 35 degrees, you're gonna go to your Aqua-Hot system for your furnace, and your fan controls, high, low, and auto. And then your rear floor and your front floor. So we do have that heated floor option that we added, and you can turn those on and off here. Then you've got the control for your cargo area here. So you can see what temperature it's at, and if you need to raise or lower that temperature to extend your coach season. And your vent fans, this is for the toilet area. You can lift that fan high, medium, and low and power it. And again, your Aqua-Hot burner and your Aqua-Hot electric. Next up is the fan control for the bedroom, high and low. Next page has the controls for your leveling system, your slide rooms, your awning, and your shades. So we're on the shades right now, so you can see the different areas are lit up, or the different zones. So you have your master, and these are for your night shades. Master shade, bed shades, and bath shades. Then we can go to our leveling system. So this is where we can auto level or retract all. So you'll have to turn on your ignition, have your park brake set. It's going to let you know if there's any problems here. It will light up that display. And then when you get 4 solid dots in each corner, you are level. If you need to manually level, you can do it with these arrows up and down in each area. And then you can go to auto retract. Then we have our slides. So we have our roadside slide, our passenger side slide, and then our rear passenger side slide. Our awning controls, so we can extend and retract our Girard awning back to our shades. Then we go to our settings page. Again, that's where we find the mobile app, diagnostics, Aqua-Hot diagnostics. You can set your units, your screen brightness, or auto dimming, and then go into cleaning mode, change the clock, and then it's going to let you know what version you're running and what floor plan you are in. Let's head into our midship bathroom here. So this is nice and roomy. So we have a lot of counter space here, which I like. The integrated sink, which looks nice, and again, that brushed nickel residential faucet, 2 110 outlets, and that's a GFCI protected switch. Then we have our mirror and nice big medicine cabinet behind that. Towel bar, you can't have enough of those. I love those. And then we have our toilet paper holder. Storage, lots of storage, plenty of room for a trash can, which I like, underneath the sink. And adjustable shelf, so a lot of storage there. Towel bar here. More storage. I love the amount of storage that you're getting in this coach. I love it, love it. And then we've got our window here. Our shades, again, are going to be just manual. And then we'll have the power shade button, and this window opens, so that's nice. We have our porcelain Thetford toilet with the push button controls. We have our ceiling light control, accent, water pump, panel lights, our fan up and down and our speed, and then we've got the shade for our bathroom to extend and retract. Our fan up ahead. Then I'm going to step into the shower so you can see how big it is. This is 30 by 36. Plenty of elbow room in here. Nice skylight here, so lots of height. We've got the handheld shower head, and we do have the little switch here that we can turn that water on and off right here from the shower head. So that's great if you want to take a military shower, if you're dry camping. The great thing about this coach is you have 150 gallons of freshwater tank and 75 gray, 75 black. Those tanks are huge. Now in here, we've got nice little spots here for our shampoos. We can shave our legs there, and a little towel bar. Then you've got the little lever here inside the shower that allows you to shut the shower door. And then when you open it back up, you just lock it into place so that it's in travel mode. And then we have another towel hook right here on the door. Now as we step into the bedroom area, you know, it looks like we've got some big wardrobes. Actually, you already know because I told you. It's a bunk room, but they're massive. 76 in length by 30. So easily a full-size adult can get in here, no problem. If you don't want to use it as a bunk, you have a wardrobe bar, so you have a second use for it. So, you know, if the grandkids or the kids aren't with you, then you can use this for storage. So I do like the bunk space for that reason. And then we've got the day shade, the opening window, and then the power shade. You also have the bunk room lights, the panel lights, and the shade control for the bunk room here. Your 2 110 outlets, USB and USB-C charging ports here on this end, and you've got another two 110 USB and USB-C on the other end, and a little spot to kind of like hold your phone. Below we have the exact same setup. So we've got our lights here, the panel lights, the shade controls, two 110 USB and USB-C, two more 110 USB, USB-C. And we have privacy drape on the bottom bunk and the top bunk. And full extension drawers for the kiddos. Your bunk bed, your top bunk bed will hold up to 250 pounds. Another light control panel, our little accent light, and let's step into the master bedroom. Nice big hallway as you walk into the master bedroom. You do have a privacy door here. And then we have our king size bed. It's just a little bit smaller than a regular size king bed. It's 66 by 74, but just a little bit smaller so it's easier to make on both sides. And then we've got the window at the headboard with the pull down manual shades, the power shades, and we've got our lights, and we have a light panel, control panel underneath the bed, along with the reeded glass storage area. Lots of storage here, no divider, two 110 outlets, so that's a really nice storage space. So you have two 110 USB, USB-C outlets on both sides of the bed, nightstand over there with cubby. I do want to show that you have a little bit of storage underneath your bed. Mainly what I want you to see though too is that you can see your two freshwater tanks here. So your freshwater tanks are above ground. Again, that's going to extend your camping season. And then you've got some extra storage there. You've got your breaker boxes here in the front. Optional washer and dryer. And storage below. You can put all your soaps and dryer sheets in here, which is nice to have a spot. And then we have our thermistor for the bedroom and another light panel for the bedroom. Directly across we have a full-length mirror, which is nice. You can check out your outfit before you leave. And full extension drawer, 32-inch Samsung TV, wardrobe, more wardrobe. And in this one, we've got the spot here that holds that telescoping ladder for the cab over bunk in there nicely. So it has its secure spot. Now let's check out all these drawers. So full extension, soft close, tons of storage in this master bedroom. Then we have our emergency egress window here and two 110 outlet. So I always like to show the floor plan with the slides in. You can easily access and have plenty of room back here in the master bedroom, get to the bed, and you have full access to the bed. If you come this direction, you can easily get into the bunk room. Of course, you have plenty of room to get into your bathroom. All this space here, your sink, your prep area, your stove, your pantry, you can fully pull out those drawers all the way. Refrigerator and freezer. Then anytime you're going to have two sofas or a booth coming together, it's going to be a little bit tighter, but I still think there's plenty of room to easily access up to the cab area. So finally to the cab area, a couple of things to point out from the very beginning. First of all, you have these great grab bars, so you can easily get in and out of the coach safely, or the cab safely. Then right here, we've got our disconnect for our house batteries. So if we're not lucky enough to have you as a storage customer at any of our locations where we store at least 300 coaches indoors, always plugged in to 50 amp service. If you're storing someplace else where you don't have 50 amp service, you want to make sure you're turning off your chassis batteries, your inverters, your house batteries, hitting those disconnects so you don't have any parasitic draw on your batteries. Now, if you are interested in storage, we do have full valet service. You just let us know when you want to pick up your coach, come by, pick it up. Well, you can also let us know if you want us to fill up your freshwater tank, air up your tires, what you want us to air them up to. And then when you come back from a trip, you just drop it off. Let us know what you want to take care of. Some people like their coach washed when they drop it off. Some want it washed before they pick it up. So it's all in the details, but we can handle all of that at National Indoor RV Centers. Then we have our lumbar support here, so we can just adjust that. And then this, we've got the air ride seats. So they are so nice. So you can just adjust that here, up or down. So yeah, have a great view, and it's just really easy. And then we have the lever here to move the seat forward and back. On the door, we have our exterior mirror controls and our defrost, our window controls and our lock and our unlock. Nice little storage area here, and then a bar here that we can pull the door shut with. Right inside the door, you have the ignition switch. So that is on the left side, which is, you know, confusing because a lot of times you're looking for it over here on the right. So left side is your ignition, and then right below that, the green plug there is a Deutsch plug, so our technicians at National Indoor RV Centers can plug in and run diagnostics off your engine. Here's the control for the steering wheel, so you can get that right into the right position and then lock it into place. You have your light control, so center is off, auto, running lights, headlights, and I just always keep it in auto. Then we have our left-hand paddle. This is going to be your control for your turn signals up and down, your windshield wipers, and your windshield wiper fluid. Just push in, and then you're going to pull forward to flash your high beams and push back to keep your high beams on. Here are your transmission controls. So drive, neutral, reverse, everything's on the right hand paddle, just super easy. And then you've got your engine brake, off, low, medium, high. If you want to manually shift, you just push in here, pull forward to shift up, push back to shift down. So here on the steering column, these buttons over here control what you see on your screen here. So I'm just going to go to our home button. Here at the home button, I can scroll through and look at my trip information, then scroll down and see the different legs. Then we go to our driving assistance. So we're going to press the pages button over on the other side. Now I can adjust the following distance. And then we have our speed, our differential locks. Then we have our cruise control setting, our gauges, diesel particulate filter, and then our tire pressure monitoring system. So it's going to let you know the pressure of your tires.
And go right.
Then we have our diagnostics. So engine maintenance, trans health, filter status, oil life, oil level. And then our settings, dash brightness, lighting, units, time and temperature. Then we have our radio volume controls, plus and minus, our center. We have our little wussy horn, or we have our big air horn. I love that. Over here on the right side, we can answer or hang up a phone call if we've paired our phone. Then we can set our cruise control, resume, our marker lights and our headlights, and then our pages takes us quickly to that following distance. If we want to adjust that, we can quickly do that from the steering column. Parking brake, so you pull to apply, push to release it. Then we have our hazard lights, our footwell light, so that's just going to give me a little light down here, our docking lights on the exterior. Then we have a work light, which is just here in the cab. Then we have our auto braking assist, so we can turn that off, and our lane departure system, we can turn that off. If it's driving us crazy, you can turn that off right here. And your auto traction spin, you can turn off here. Then we have our engine override. So say you're crossing a railroad track and you get an alert that your engine's shutting down. You need to safely get across that railroad track. Maybe a different scenario, but you need to do your engine override so you can safely get across. You may burn up your engine, but you're not going to die by train. Okay? Then you have your trailer camera and your truck camera. So if you've got a stacker trailer that you've added a camera on the back, you can toggle between the rear view camera and the trailer camera. The option 2 here, this is the light in your engine compartment. You can turn it on and off here. This is your Kirk spectrum brake for towing heavy vehicles. And then you have your USB and auxiliary input. This is your suspension dump here and your differential lock. So let's say that you're in sand and you need those tires to spin together, you would turn that on here. So you've got a 12-volt outlet here. And then on the other side, you've got an actual cigarette lighter. I didn't know they made those anymore. And 2 USB-C outlets. Then we have the equalizer system. So you can download an app to your phone. You can control this at the panel, but this is your hydraulic jacks. So you would power it on here. You can go to auto level, all retract all, or you can manually lift and lower the jacks as needed in each section here. Then we have our AC controls, so the speed of the controls, the direction of that airflow, and then the cold and the hot. We've got our cup holders, and we get a little like trash receptacle there. Here's the Garmin display panel. So here are your radio controls, and you can scroll through those radio controls, your volume, your time, and then these are, you can pair your phone here. Now a lot of the functionality of this, you need to set up your Garmin account. So we'll go in here, and here on our tools page, we've got our browser, our camera, and you can go to the different views. Our clock, a document viewer, downloads, your owner's manual, phone, service history, your settings, and video tutorials. So lots of helpful things in here. And then you can go to your navigation page. So that's going to tell you nearby campgrounds, track back, trip planner, weather. All these things will be more functional once you set up that account. And then you can also take this off. So this is really nice if you want to go to navigation and go ahead and have your co-pilot start putting in the address. They can do that. You still have the controls of the radio here and the power button, and then it just magnets right back on when you're done with it. Just above that, you have a second panel here that you can throw your cameras up here, and you'll get that rear view camera, just like you're looking at your rear view mirror, but it's just the camera shot. So you have storage above here, and you have your sunshades. And then here in the center, you can connect another TV here if you wanted to. And you've got the cables for that. And more storage above the co-pilot and their sunshade. And then if you want to give your coach full privacy, you can just go ahead and shut this front shade. It's just quick and easy. It comes from both sides. Velcro's in the center, so you have complete privacy in seconds. All right, so super excited to head out on a test drive. Check out how this M2-106 chassis maneuvers on the road. One of my favorite features is going to be this. The air horn. Who didn't want to do that as a kid? So, great things about the Super C. First of all, your tires are in front of you, so it's going to drive like your car. You're just going to have to watch your rear end to make sure you're not clipping any curves, and just watching that turning radius. You're going to fit in the lane, so you just need to get used to, you are bigger, wider. You're a big truck now with the house on the back. So the further you look down the road, the easier it is to just get used to staying in that lane when you're brand new to driving something this big. The other thing I always recommend is that you want to stay in the left, hug the left side of the lane that you're driving in, just because a lot of the bad things happen on the right. Tree limbs, street signs, road debris, those gators, you've broken off tires from semi trucks, they're all over there on that side of the road, and we just don't want to hit those if we don't have to. So just take your time, because you're bigger than everyone else. Who cares if someone behind you is getting angry because they have to be behind this big motorhome? You're on vacation, you're having a great time, so take your time. Bad things happen when we're in a hurry. So I would say that those are the best pieces of advice I can give you. And then always make sure you do a thorough walk around of the coach before you take off. Check all those baggage compartments, just make sure everything's locked. You should have a pre-trip checklist. If you don't, email me at Angie@NIRVC.com, and I'd be happy to share mine. You can add or subtract from mine, but at least it gives you a good starting point. All right, let's go ahead and put on the brake, release that park brake. We're gonna put it into drive. Your transmission's right here on the right-hand paddle, so it's super easy. And then I'm going to put on my blinker here. You'll be able to see down the full right side of the coach. And I'm gonna go ahead and get moving. So really, one of the most important things when you're going to buy a coach, man, this is quiet. This is nice and quiet and smooth. I love this. When you're picking out the motorhome, which one's right for you, one of the things I think you have to do is test drive it. Because right now, boy, I'm sold on this. Like, it is so quiet, I'm shocked. Your engine's in front, so obviously you're gonna have more noise than like a Class A diesel pusher, but I'm super impressed with how quiet it is and how much power I have. I know it's on the right chassis. That M2-106 chassis makes a big difference. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and get on the freeway and we'll get up to speed. I'll hit my cruise control because once I hit cruise control, then I'm just sailing. Then I'm just enjoying the ride here. But really impressed with the power. I feel like I've got great speed here. And one of the other reasons people love Super Cs is their towing ability. So we've got that 20,000 pound hitch back there, so I can easily take my stacker trailer with my side-by-sides in it. You name it, whatever toys you want to take, you're not going to have a problem pulling them with this. In just a couple days, we're going to be starting our Music City Motorhome Expo. It's usually at the end of May, 1st of June each year, and that's where we introduce the new model year from all the major manufacturers. It's a VIP shopping event. We cap the attendance so it's not big crowds. We ask the manufacturers to come, bring their new models, bring their engineers, bring their product designers so you can really vet your decision. And the best thing of all, you can test drive any coach that we have on display. So that's a huge, huge deal when you're buying a coach, like I said earlier. And there's no other show in the country like that. Along with that, all your food, drinks, snacks, seminars, and amazing entertainment at night are all covered. So our entertainment that we've had the last couple of years, Diamond Rio, Sarah Evans, Josh Turner, Scotty McCreery. This year it's Chris Evans, the band Perry. Oh my gosh, we have so much fun at this expo, and you get to, like, in a calm, no pressure, not high pressure environment, you get to shop for the coach of your dreams. So along with that, your ticket price is refunded back to your deal as long as you buy a coach from National Indoor RV Centers, either at the expo or within a year at the expo. And there's also travel credit because we know it costs a lot to come to the expo. So we'll give you $2,000 if you end up buying a Class A diesel or a Super C, $1,000 if you buy a B or a C. So lots of good perks and just an amazing experience. If you want more information, go to our Music City Motorhome Expo.com. Now, if you can't make the Music City Motorhome Expo, then you'll want to check out our expo in November. It's the Las Vegas Expo. And of course, it's in Las Vegas. It's going to be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, November 7th through 11th for 2026. It's going to be the same as the Music City Motorhome Expo in that you'll be able to test drive any coach that we have there on display. Food, drink, entertainment covered, seminars covered, and it's just an amazing event. So we have over 100 people pre-registered to just register when we open registration. So that's how popular this is going to be. There are no shows like this on the West Coast, so trying to bring you an option for an expo on the East and the West Coast. So if you want more information about it, go to NIRVC.com, go to our events tab, click on that, and then you'll see the expos listed there, or you can go to lvmhexpo.com for more information as well. All right, so I'm coming into a nice tight turn here. So let's see how the Verona handles this curve. I'm gonna slow down a bit. And wow, that's impressive. I don't feel like I'm leaning. I feel nice and controlled. And like I said, it's super tight and no problem. I'm just driving a big truck with my house behind it. and it's a really fun drive. So I just did the decibel reader. If you've watched my videos, you know that I always do that. 69.4, which actually is very quiet. I've got the dash AC on. I have the generator on because I had it on before we took off and I forgot to turn it off. So my ACs are running in the house, dash AC and the engine. And I'm super impressed. I think this is very quiet. So you have a lot of built-in safety features, like collision mitigation, adaptive cruise control, lane departure, a lot of things that are going to keep you safe as you're traveling down the road. A lot of people don't know what to do when they get their, they don't know where to take their first trip. Well, we can solve that for you at National Indoor RV Centers, because when you buy a coach from us, we cover your first year's dues for our all-inclusive motorhome club. So that gives you access to some service discounts, but it also gives you access to register for our amazing rallies that we do across the country. Our event team is tasked with trying to find really great venues in really cool places, and then find really unique events that you might not find on your own. So we've done whitewater rafting, horseback riding, side-by-sides in Colorado. We did the Monuments tour at the mall in DC at night. When we did DC, we've done dinner and dancing and entertainment on a military ship out in San Diego, and whale watching. We saw a pod of dolphins. That was about the coolest thing I've ever seen. Way better than the whale, in my opinion. So lots of really cool things, and it's the best way to get to know, learn about your coach, because you're with a bunch of RVers with similar interests, and they just want to help you. They just want to make this lifestyle fun and exciting. If you have questions, they want to help. So make sure you go to our aimclub.org site so that you can look at those events and the different discounts and that you get with your AIM Club membership. You also have your engine brake here. So when I take my foot off the accelerator, it's going to slow me down without me having to put my foot on the brake. That's just right here on the paddle. So up is off, and then you have 3 levels, high, medium, low, or low, medium, high, I guess. So you can put it all the way down for high, and you have that extra braking assistance. I hope you've enjoyed my tour of the 2027 Renegade Verona LE. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how much this awesome coach would cost you. Well, current MSRP is $566,566. Now, never pay MSRP. And remember, with our volume and economies of scale, RVs simply cost less from National Indoor RV Centers. We want to have customers for life. We'll take care of you the whole time that you have your coach. We're not just here for the sale, we're here for everything after the sale. So make sure we are your first call, and we will help you build a gorgeous coach or help you find one on our lot. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe, hit that little bell so you can get a notification when my videos drop. Also, go check out my RVing 101 series, our ceramic coating video, and our retro brand video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.